Before we dive into today's Australian news update, a quick reminder, only 0.9% of our viewers have subscribed to the channel, while a massive 99.1% haven't. If you enjoy content like this, please support us by hitting that subscribe button and clicking the notification bell so you never miss an update. Now, let's dive into the news. The Labor government has announced a delay in implementing reforms aimed at limiting gambling advertisements until 2025. This decision has sparked criticism from opposition leader Peter Dutton, who called it a cowardly and craven capitulation. The government had initially proposed these reforms based on recommendations from the late Labor MP Peter Murphy's 2023 report, which highlighted the negative impact of gambling advertising, particularly on young people. Workplace Relations Minister Murray Watt defended the delay, citing the complexity of the issue and the limited parliamentary time left in the current session. Watt emphasized that the government's priority remains pressing issues like cost of living relief, housing affordability, and safety legislation, including social media reforms. Parliamentary debate on gambling reforms is expected to resume in February unless a federal election is called in January, which would place Parliament in caretaker mode. Peter Dutton strongly criticized the delay, stating, "This government can't make tough decisions and is stumbling from one crisis to another." Communications spokesperson David Coleman echoed Dutton's sentiments, labeling the government weak and indecisive. Coleman also pointed to a broader lack of direction in the Albanese government's legislative agenda. The Greens have also voiced strong disapproval. Senator Sarah Hanson-Young called for a complete ban on gambling ads across all media platforms, stating that gambling addiction has devastating effects on Australian families. She highlighted that Australia has the world's highest gambling losses per capita, losing $25 billion annually. The proposal has also created division within Labor. Paediatrician and MP Dr. Mike Freelander, along with other members of Labor's backbench, has urged the government to implement a total ban, emphasizing the public health benefits. Jodie Belair, a newly elected MP, expressed a personal connection to the issue, stating that as the mother of a teenage son, she is acutely aware of how gambling advertising targets young viewers. Labor is aiming to pass around 30 pieces of legislation in the final sitting week of 2024, including the controversial Help to Buy shared equity housing scheme. This policy, which allows prospective homeowners to purchase properties with government co-ownership, has faced pushback from both the Greens and the Coalition. Critics argue that the policy could inflate housing prices during a supply crisis and benefit only a small number of Australians. The push for a complete ban has gained significant traction outside Parliament. Advocacy groups, crossbench MPs, and prominent Australians, including former Prime Ministers Kevin Rudd and Malcolm Turnbull, have signed an open letter urging the government to phase out gambling ads entirely within 3 years. Advocates have drawn parallels to the successful ban on tobacco advertising, which significantly reduced public health harms. Tim Costello, CEO of the Alliance for Gambling Reform, remarked, "We need to treat gambling ads like tobacco ads, remove them entirely for the sake of public health." While many support stricter regulations, media companies and sports organizations have expressed concerns. They argue that banning gambling advertisements would result in significant revenue losses that may not be easily offset by other advertisers. Free TV Australia has called for compensation in the event of restrictions, suggesting that regulatory burdens on broadcasters could be eased as a trade-off. However, proponents like Senator Hanson-Young believe that addressing gambling harm should take precedence, and she has advocated for government measures to support local sports organizations impacted by the reforms. Labor's proposal to limit gambling ads will likely be debated in February, barring a January federal election. The Greens have signaled their intention to introduce amendments to strengthen the reforms, potentially pushing for a total ban. Meanwhile, opposition leader Peter Dutton has not clarified whether the coalition will support Labor's proposal or advocate for alternative measures. Nationals leader David Littleproud has called for sensible gambling policies, stating that advertisements for live betting odds during football games have gone too far. Parliamentary debate in the coming months will test Labor's ability to navigate conflicting pressures from advocates, media organizations, and industry stakeholders. With bipartisan support required to pass legislation, the government faces a challenging path forward. Thanks for watching Aussie Pulse. If you found this update insightful, make sure to like, share, and comment your thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're always up to date on Australia's latest news. See you in the next video.